I'm just refreshing because it says stand by, please. Yep.
We are live. Just give me 1 second before we do that. That's okay. Let's just do this. We are live, everyone. Okay. Almost there. Okie dokie. Got it. All right. Welcome everyone to our all-Australian Google Hangout for the 6th of March, US time. It's actually the 7th of March over here in Australia, but to everyone else it's about the 6th of March. So I'd like to welcome everyone to the Protection Through Gold Hangout. Okay, let me just turn off the other. I can hear myself twice here. Right.
Sorry, Albie, I'll go and mute myself.
Yes. Guys, we've been working on getting this Hangout up for an hour, and we've had all sorts of technical issues, but we are here, and we've forged ahead, and we've made it happen. But again, a great big welcome to everybody, especially all our new members who have joined us this week. We have some great news this week. We've hit the 8,900 members in our team, which is an amazing milestone. And our goal this month is to hit the 10,000 member mark, which will be just incredible. In just over 7 months of getting involved in this business, 10,000 members have been packed into our team, and it's because of the incredible efforts that you guys have been doing, and really making some waves out there, and sharing the Carabao story. We have got a very special lineup tonight. Lawrence is not with us tonight. We've given him the night off. He normally has to wake up at about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, so we'll give him the night off, and so you're going to have to put up with us, full Aussie contingent tonight. But a very special welcome to a very good friend of mine who I've been working with for at least 3 years. We've been friends for probably 7 or 8 years, and I've had the wonderful pleasure to see my friend here go from the corporate world to, through building an online business, being able to retire in Bali at the tender age of, I think, how old are you, Scott?
41 now, Albie.
How old? 31?
41, yeah, I feel like 31.
41. But a very big welcome to my good friend, Mr. Scott Caporal. Welcome to the Hangout, Scott.
Yeah, thank you very much, Albie. I'm so glad to be here. Just totally pumped, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, really.
Fantastic. And then we'd like to welcome another guy I've actually been working with for, I think it's at least a couple of years, maybe a little bit longer. And this guy has sort of snuck in sort of behind the scenes. I was just having a look through my Carabao business the other day, because we've just had we're on our way. We had a record-breaking month last month, and we were on our way to having another record-breaking month this month. And I just had a look through my back office to see who was doing what, and I had a big surprise when I saw this guy just had sponsored a whole bunch of people, and I never hear from this guy at all. We don't talk to each other that often, and he's just snuck in from behind the scenes. He's a bit of a dark horse, and I'd like to welcome an emerging leader in the Carabao business, Mr. Toby Hartnoll-White. Welcome to our Hangout, Tobes.
Thanks, Albie. It's great to finally, get online and chat with both of you guys, and look forward to sharing a couple of stories today.
Fantastic, mate. So it's good to see you've got the hair done for today, especially for the big occasion.
Yeah, mate. I've done the hair, not so much the beard though. The beauty of working from home, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I just need to share a couple of things before we launch into our Hangout. Had a couple of interesting things happen overnight. Now, Scott, you and I, how long have we known? We've known Lawrence for about the same amount of time. It must be for about, the last 2.5 years?
Yeah, easy. Yep.
Easy. All right. And first of all, I've just got to explain something about Lawrence, and we can do all this. We can sort of, when the cat's away, the mice will play. We can have a little bit of fun. I've got to explain a couple of things. First of all, many of you might hear us referring to Lawrence as Rabs, R-A-B-S, which is our nickname for him. And many of you won't know, or Toby will definitely know, but Aussies have a preoccupation with giving everybody what we call a nickname. Like Scott would never be Scott. It's always Scotty or Scotto. Of course, my name's Albert, is my full name. I would never get called Albert. It's Albie, and Toby, I'm imagining you never get called Tobe. I call you Tobes. Have you got a nickname, Toby?
Oh, yeah, Tubby, Fatty.
Something you want to share?
Yeah. Anything and everything, really.
Aussie blokes especially have this preoccupation. They'll never call you by your full name. And so it was only fair that we should give Lawrence an Aussie nickname. Now, anybody who understands the Afrikaans language will know that his surname, Haasbroek, quite literally, Haas means rabbit or hare, and Brook means pants. So in literal English translation, his name is Lawrence Rabbit Pants, which is an absolute classic. And so Rabbit Pants, I don't know how it happened, Scott and I, we just one day talking about Lawrence, and Lawrence just rolled off the tongue way too long. Rabs just came to mind, and we've always referred to him as Rabs. And so if you ever hear us talking about Rabs, you know exactly who we're talking about. Now, Scott, Rabs, we've always known him as being a fairly mature, sort of responsible sort of a guy, haven't we?
Yes, very much so.
All right. And a fairly serious sort of a guy, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm just about to dispel that myth. This morning at about 2:30 a.m., I'm sleepless, and I had my phone next to my bed. Thought, I'll just check what's happening around the carrot bars world. So, I checked my account, and it was fantastic to see that a bunch of people had bought a bunch of gold, and we'd made 500 or 600 euros. And then I thought I'll just quickly check Skype. So I've opened up my Skype app on my phone, and Rabs has obviously seen that I'm online, and he's typed into the Skype thing, "What are you doing up this time of the day?" And I've said to him, "Mate," I said, "shut up." I said, "Every time you reply back to me, my phone makes a vibrating, buzzing sound, and my wife's going to wake up." So what do you reckon happened next? Lawrence, being the mature, responsible guy, a flurry of Skype emoticons started to appear, and my phone has just gone spastic. It's and then there's this like little laughing icons going, "Ha ha ha, I bet you that's really buzzing now. I bet your Rachel's awake." And I'm just scrambling to turn my phone off, right? And I've jumped out of bed, I've tripped over my undies, I've come out of the office, fallen through the door. Of course, now the whole house is awake, and I've stumbled to the computer in the office here, which is where I am now, and I've typed and go, "You idiot." I said, "You've just woken up the whole house." And all I get back is this laughing, smiling emoticon. So next time you think of Rabs as being this serious, responsible, upright leader in Carapaz, there's very definitely another side to the man, and he will pay dearly for that little mistake. And I told him I was going to tell the whole Carrot Bars world exactly what he was like behind the scenes. So there you go, Rabs. When you get this, you had it coming to you, and you know it. Anyway, it's good to have a bit of fun. And we do have a bunch of fun building this business. And as I said before, one of the most wonderful things is seeing people come from basically obscurity to coming along and getting a vision for the business, and then just going ahead and just doing what it takes to build the business. Now, Toby, as I said, we've been working together for at least a couple of years, and maybe longer than that. We've actually been through some ups and downs together. Toby's been involved in quite a few businesses we've been in. It's been quite the journey, as he would say. And we've lost a bunch of money together, and thankfully, we've stayed tight, come through it, and now we're building a business for our very long-term future. So once again, Toby, welcome to the Hangout. Now, Toby Hartnoll-White is your full name. Now, Hartnoll-White's a very, very posh name, mate. So do you want to explain firstly sort of the origins of that name?
Oh, well, it's Hartnoll is my dad's surname, and White is my mum. So they just decided to, hyphenate it, join it together. And dad's a Pom, so he's from the UK, and maybe the poshness has got something to do with that. Maybe royalty or something.
When I remember you first. When I first saw you come into my autoresponder, I thought, and then you came onto Skype, and then you wanted to have a chat there a long while back. I was seriously expecting somebody with a really posh toffee nose sort of an accent. And when I got this Aussie bloke on the other side, I couldn't believe it was a guy called Toby Hartnoll-White. So, yeah, it's been fantastic to get to know you, Toby. Do you want to just give us a little bit of a brief background as to you know, where you grew up, a bit about your family, and sort of where you live, and what brought you to that point?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. I'd be glad to. I grew up in country New South Wales, which is probably 6 hours from Sydney, and grew up doing all the normal country sort of things. Went off to study at university and had a, you know, what most people would say a traditional sort of education. I did a degree in exercise science, and I worked in the sports science field for a little bit. And then I decided there wasn't enough money in that, so I took on a master's degree in occupational health and safety. And at that time, occupational health and safety was just emerging as, you know, a huge industry, and I was one of the first people in my university to actually graduate with that degree. So I could basically choose my job. And, you know, work for a couple of good companies in Sydney. I guess probably about 6 or 7 years I spent travelling, you know, an hour and a half to work each day, and wasn't until sort of then that a friend introduced me to a network marketing company, and I've gone, you know, I'd never heard about network marketing before, you know, that, you know, looked absolutely brilliant on paper, and I thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to, you know, make enough money, you know, to sustain my lifestyle working for somebody else. I'm going to, you know, take the ball and run with it. And with that particular company, I achieved some, you know, reasonable success, and I decided to quit my job and then move to the other side of the country. The people I hang around, whilst they're, you know, still my friends today, they just weren't going down the same life path, and I knew that I needed to surround myself with some different people with different goals and different ambitions. So, like I said, I moved to the other side of the country, and I was working this network marketing business part-time, and also, you know, picked up some work, you know, some part-time casual work as well. And, you know, over time I developed a bit of a passive income, residual income, but I never really was totally successful. I always knew I was going to be successful, and felt that way. And I did a bit of travelling around. I thought that having this business allowed me to, you know, do a bit of travelling. So I spent a couple of years here, a couple of years there, and now I'm living in Newcastle, which is only 3 or 4 hours south from where you live, Albie. And I've been here for about 3 years, I guess. And it was about the same time that I'd, you know, wasn't achieving great success in my business, and you know, where the internet was really emerging, and I decided that that's where I wanted to be and where I wanted to take my business. You know, I could, you know, get the attention of a lot more people, and people that were actually, you know, looking to make money from home and things like that. So I joined another company. It was an e-commerce company, an online shopping company actually, and I guess it really highlights one of the biggest mistakes I've made online, and it's a good mistake to make, but it's something that, you know, other people can learn from. And so what I did is I set up this website. It was a splash page, you know, it did all, you know, fancy graphic design. I thought I'd arrived, and basically what I did, I directly linked it to the company's website. So, and I was getting all these customers, like, through the company, and I thought, oh, this is it, you know, I'm getting 10 customers, you know, every day, and I'm having hundreds of customers. And what I realised was that I was building their list and not capturing their details, and then the company, you know, over time sort of failed to deliver on a number of promises, and 12, 18 months later, I'd wasted all that time and hadn't, built my own list, which I could market to. So that was probably the biggest mistake early on that I now realise and now laugh at. So then I came across you and Lorenz online. Actually met through a mutual friend, and just liked the stuff that
that'd be Rabs.
The Arabs, of course. And I liked the look of the stuff you were doing, online. Could see that you're a genuine bloke, and just followed all your videos. Found them very step by step, and like you said, we've been, through some big ups and big downs, and scammed and ripped off, and all those sort of things. But I stuck with it because, like I said, I always knew I'd was going to achieve success. But when Carrot Bars came around, 6-7 months ago, I joined. There was something about this that was just different, and obviously the team sort of structure you had in place was a main part, but also the company. The product's money, and I thought, well, it doesn't get better than that, does it? And it's real money. So I made a decision then that I was going to focus on this business, and I, chose to be successful. But more importantly, I think within myself, I realised that whilst I always knew I was going to be successful, that I had to bring success to every aspect of my business. And success didn't mean make $10,000 a week and then I'll be successful. And I liken it to being happy as well, happy in life. I wouldn't be happy when I get $10,000 at the end of the week. Sure, it could buy me a lot of things, but I need to bring happiness to every aspect of my life and every aspect of my business. So it was a big personal development sort of shift, and basically went ahead and set some clear intentions, some really specific goals as to how much money I want to make, what exactly that looked like in the Carrot Bars business, being how many paid members I need to sponsor each week, how many cycles I need in the dual team I need to do each week, and even each day. And then I wrote a plan of what I'm going to focus on as far as my daily money-making activities went. And so I've decided, well, I have been doing paid advertising, solo ads and banner ads in particular, to build the list. And it's a gradual process, but I certainly learnt from my mistakes, and at the end of the day, it is the fast way. A couple of the other things that I've done and learnt is that really need to personalise, my own branding and the follow-up autoresponders. Now, the protection through gold autoresponders are fantastic, and I think there's about 20 of them. But what I've gone ahead and done is actually added, about 50 to my list. And what I've found is that some people opt in.
So you're talking about the messages here, aren't you? The follow-up messages.
Yeah. So I've added a heap more because it took me, I guess a while to sort of warm to the work that you were doing and build that relationship when I followed you. So I'm just really following the leader and copying what you guys did. And what I've found is that people join my Carrot Bars business now. Some might join within a couple of days of opting into my capture page, but then some might take 4, 5, even 6 months before they take action. So if I could leverage those autoresponders as much as I could, and combine that with a broadcast message every 2 or 3 days. I'm just going to increase my chances of, finding that person that's in the looking zone and wants to join a real business and a real team. And the other thing I guess I focused on, or am focusing on, is the real relationship side of things. So definitely telling stories in my emails, lots of photos, and I'm doing more and more videos. and that was sort of one of the areas that I identified that I was lacking in that branding. So I set myself a target to do 30 videos in 30 days, and just to create that habit and really drive it home and give it a lot of value. And like I've seen, like I said, I've seen some great results doing that. I sponsored a bunch of people, and even I get emails, people contact me that are already in carrot bars but not in our team, wanting to join our team because I'm selling the team and the benefits and the exclusivity of that. So it's only on the up and up, man.
Fantastic. Well, look, I had about 7 questions I was going to ask you, and you answered 7. You probably answered 10 of the 7 questions I was going to ask you, so you've answered like 3 more than I was going to ask. But, after we've finished speaking to you, we're going to go through like a business checklist of all the things that a successful marketer does to build their carrot bars business. And as you're going through each thing you're doing, like you're talking about personalizing your autoresponder messages, making videos, setting daily goals. I'm just going mentally. I'm going tick, 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 and I can see Scott mentally doing the same thing. He's going, I saw his nod, and mate, that's sensational. And as I said at the start, I know you joined up fairly soon after we launched 7 months ago, but it was you didn't kind of come out of the out of the box running, and then it was only a short while ago that I thought I'd better look down through our business to see where all this activity is coming from, and I was absolutely amazed to see your name and then all these people you sponsored next to it, and then having a chat to you to see what you were doing, and then to hear you talk to me about breaking it down into daily goals. So can I, first thing we should let everyone know is that you're sort of semi-retired now. You live across the road from the beach, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Okay, so I've seen a picture of your place there, and I've seen a picture of the beach across the road. It looks fantastic. You do a bit of surfing, is that right? You love getting in the water?
I love getting in the water. I haven't actually surfed for quite some time now, but I really enjoy my exercise. I jog up and down the track on the coast, and always in the water swimming most days. So just loving that beach lifestyle, and it's something that I wouldn't have been able to sustain. Or certainly wouldn't have the time if I was working a 9-to-5 job. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Terrific. So, what does your typical day look like? What does your income-producing activity look like each day? So you wake up in the morning. Just give us a very brief rundown on what your day looks like and how you structure your day.
Well, one of the first things I do is go into Aweber, and I either write some new emails. They might be adding follow-ups to the existing series, or they'll be writing a broadcast. And I like to do 2 or 3 a day, and that way I can schedule them so I don't actually need to do them for a couple of days. But I'm always checking, the open rates and things like that to see where I can improve and what sort of people are clicking on. Like the videos. So emails would be the first thing. The next thing would be to do a video. That's what I've been doing lately. And what I also do is find some internet very successful people on the internet and join their lists. And I get a bunch of obviously their follow-up emails, and I scan through them, and I have in my Gmail I have a folder which then I call it an email swipe folder. So I don't consider myself an expert writer or copywriter or anything like that, far from it. But what I do is pick up bits and pieces from what these experts are saying, put it in my own words a little bit, and then I'll use that as a broadcast if I think it's adding value. And I get that out to my list.
That's a really interesting point. Lawrence and I were having this, Rabs and I were having this discussion just a couple of nights ago, and we were just talking about how to be successful, really, it's just a copy and paste exercise. All you really need to do is find somebody who's got the runs on the board, who is where you want to get to, and basically just copy what they're doing. I remember when I first met Lawrence, I had come from an offline network marketing environment, and I was trying to translate that to an online version. I wasn't having, any success, I should say, online. and had a pretty big, had started building a list. Scott and I had been building a list, but we were missing a few tweaks, and I started to join his lists, and I started to copy. Well, Scott and I at the same time, Scott and I would get together once a week because he used to live around the corner here, and we used to discuss what we needed to do to improve or actually start sponsoring just one person. And we decided to copy exactly what he's doing. And one of the things he was doing consistently, like you're doing, is posting YouTube videos, how to, personal stuff, just musings and experiences, maybe a little training. And the amazing thing is that like 2.5 years later, is that I think, and I was just mentioning this last, so we've sponsored, like, say, close to the 120 people mark into the carrot bars business. I'd say 70% of those we would have sponsored at some point through a YouTube video somewhere. And so just tell me, you said you were on a mission to do, I think it was 30 videos in 30 days.
Yeah.
Fantastic that you're just copying. I mean, you said you're copying what I'm doing, but obviously as leaders, we're just regurgitating what we've learnt, and I've noticed with most leaders, we just regurgitate what we've learnt. The key here is to actually apply, copy and paste, but actually do it, and then slowly tweak it to your own flavour. So just tell me a little bit about, because YouTube videos was the difference for me. It was the thing that I didn't want to do, and you said to me as well the thing that it was the thing that you struggled with, and we spoke last week about the fact that for most people, success is going to lie between where they are now and the thing they hate doing the most. And once they do the thing they hate the most, or the thing that's standing in the way, they will find a breakthrough in their financial success and their online marketing success. So talk to me about this, where this 30 days, 30 video thing came about, and what that's all about.
Well, I guess it was just something I came up with to keep myself accountable, and now I've told a bunch of people, and I feel as though I have to go and do it, by putting it out there.
I'm going to check your YouTube channel now, see?
Yeah. And I guess my most of my resistance around doing videos was that I wasn't really comfortable in talking on camera, and then I thought that I needed to be really professional and things like that, whereas the opposite was actually true. The more relatable the videos were, and the more people can see that I'm a real person, live a normal life, and the better. And I think that most people, when they come into a business, ask themselves, whether they can do the same thing. So if it's doable for everyone, but yeah, I guess it was just overcoming that, and just a matter of taking action. I needed to do it. Like, obviously the branding, the personal branding out of it, and the value adding as well. It's like a win-win. Yeah,
no, that's fantastic, and it's so great to have those goals and to be accountable. And we've spoken quite a few times in the past about having a running partner, somebody that you're accountable to, and obviously you've made the rest of the world that running partner now that you've mentioned your goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's it's great, and I'll just do it. Like LB was saying, last week, I think it was last week, it's just like, just do it, just take action. Like, this whole internet marketing thing, it's not rocket science. It's, if you just focus on a couple of elements and, become, master at them, over time, you're going to get the results. It's not hard.
Yeah, so true. And and doing YouTube videos is something that just requires a little bit of practice. And I think another key point that you mentioned there is not to try and make it look too polished. Is to, I mean, that's probably one of the mistakes I made. I thought I needed to sound like somebody else, or needed to be polished. But really, people want to know is that you're real, that you're there to help them, and that you're just like them. Because the big question people have is, can I do this business? And what you want them to get to the point of saying to themselves is, if he can do it, I can do it, because he's just like me. I mean, it's like doing this Hangout. We haven't set up any props. You can probably even see my wife folding up the washing in the background, because, hey, we're all real people. This is real life. We're all on the same journey building a carrot bars business. What's that? There you go. My wife wants to say hello. We're real and we are live. There's no props here. That is my my beautiful wife in the background. So yeah, just be real. That's the key. And that's one of the things that has really that I admire about what you do, Toby. Is you're the real deal. You're a really clever guy. You're a smart guy. You're well educated, but you're just a down-to-earth bloke who relates to a really wide audience. And here's the key: is the people who I've found in this industry, the people who have the biggest organisations, the people who relate to the widest audience. And Scott's just posted on the thing a very good comment. He said the hardest part is actually working on yourself. It's just trying to get yourself comfortable with who you are. And we speak so often, and especially Rabs talks about mindset, and mindset is quite often about just accepting who you are for who you are, and just trusting that the world will love you who you are as well. Toby, where do you want to take this Carrot Buzz business? What's your personal goal?
My personal goal is to take it to a level where it's it's viral and it's unstoppable, and somewhere up there like yourself and Rabs, really.
Yeah, and we feel like we're just starting, so yeah, that's great, mate. Look, thank you so much for sharing all that. I think it's going to lead very nicely into the next segment of our Hangout here, and that is just going through a checklist of your internet business health or your online business health. But just another quick question is, I know that you have you do offline and online marketing by necessity. You've got a bunch of guys in your business that come from old school network marketing background. Is that right? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, that's right. I guess it's difficult to because I'm so focused at the moment on just the online stuff, whereas I made the transition myself, so I'm not particularly working my warm market, or I probably don't have much of a warm market left after all the opportunities that I've shown people. Over the years, but I don't know. It's what I sort of teach and get, because we have got such a fantastic system in protection through Gold team, is that I teach that everyone, regardless whether they come from online, might be an online contact or an offline, a warm contact, is to go through to the capture page, and the capture page obviously sends them into the funnel, which does all the heavy lifting. It does, all the sales, all those great sales videos and the education behind it. Because I can't go out there and tell people. I don't want to go out there and tell people about, the state of the economy, and why shouldn't they, buy gold and precious metals and things like that. I'm not the expert, but I can point them in the direction of the experts by getting them to go through the sales funnel and through the system, because at the end of the day, I think it's the system that keeps it all together. And if everyone does the same thing, there's your duplication.
Yeah, I think Thomas Edison said it best when he said, he doesn't need to be the smartest person in his team. He just knows he needs to know smart people, and that's the thing that the system. What was that? Henry Ford, was it? Could have been Henry Ford. I'm getting corrected in the back. It was someone really famous. I sounded really smart until she said that. Could have been Henry Ford. Yeah, I think it was. Thank you, Arnie, for correcting me. But here's the point: is that the system's there, and the system, what it does is it gives 100% of the people 100% of the same information 100% of the time, and that system has been created by plucking all the little bits of gold nuggets from everywhere, from Mike Maloney, from Hidden Secrets of Money, and from a lot of Rab's experiences, and from our experiences, and from Scott's experiences, and then you adapting that to the experiences you've had, and the system is a wonderful thing. You can put pressure on them and take pressure off yourself. I think so many people think that they have to go out and spread the word. I had a guy yesterday I was on Skype with, and he said, how am I going to talk people into buying gold? And I said, well, the good news is you don't have to. We have a system that will take the pressure off you. We just put them in the top end of the funnel and let the funnel do the work. So exactly. Now, Toby, thanks so much for sharing with us. Will you hang around and help us run through this business checklist as we go through that?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much for sharing that so far. And let me give you one of these.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, and let's just move on to the next part of our Hangout. Now, we did paste this and post this out to our lists, and we're going to actually go through what I like to call a business health checklist. And how this came about is during the week, let me just pull this up on my computer here. Scott sent me through an email, and Scott actually received an email from somebody in his team. Let me just read this out to you. And when I read this, I thought, this just relates to a whole lot of people who are going through exactly the same frustrations as this person. And it says here, hi Scott, I've been reading in Skype about all the great success that people are having. What are they doing? Because the sales funnel is absolutely hopeless for me. I've had thousands of opt-ins, but very few join Carabars. What are they doing? And now that's a question we've had more than once. And it's a good question. We've certainly been through the same frustrations. Scott and I spent thousands and thousands. I think at one point Scott spent over $10,000 when we first got started buying leads, and we had this romantic notion that overnight we were going to start making thousands of dollars a day or a week. And it was a sad reality check after a few weeks, and we didn't have a single conversion from memory, Scott. And it was a sad reality check, and then we really knew we had to start tweaking. So we're asking the same questions, and quite often I think everybody that gets into online marketing will ask the same question. So what I thought we'd do is Scott made a list to send back to this person, and it's what I call the business health checklist. And we thought we'd just run through that together and just comment on it. This is obviously, we haven't prepared anything apart from the stuff that Scott actually replied with, but I think as we go through the checklist, maybe mentally or physically you can write these things down and tick them off or put them on the to-do list in your own business. And Toby's already just ticked off most of these with the things that he said he's doing in his business. But let's go through them step by step. Scott, would you just like to start off and then maybe just give a bit of an introduction from your side, how you put this list together and why you responded the way you did to that particular email?
Yeah, sure, Albie. And I just want to let the folks know on the Hangout and watching the replay, what I will do is actually, I added to this email list last night when I started thinking about it. I'm actually going to turn this into more of a working document that we're going to make it like a checkbox where people can actually go through and tick off all the different activities just to make sure they're on track. Now, this is not going to apply to absolutely everybody because everyone's going to have a different method to market, and I certainly encourage that because everyone has different personalities, which means you're going to have to market in a slightly different way that sort of suits your personality. But what I'd like to do for the team is actually come up with a really good checklist where people can slowly work through and make sure they're doing the activities, they're becoming the person that they need to become to be the success that they want. So let me just start by saying that. And I hope to get that up probably within the next week. And I'll see if Rabs can have that added to the back office, just a downloadable PDF or something like that.
That's brilliant.
So when I got this email from Michael, I knew exactly where he was coming from. So it was just a process of me going, right, well, what have I done? What are the things that I know that I've had to do in the past to get over some of the hurdles?
Because we've been through the same frustrations, right?
Oh, absolutely, and more than once. You know, I might be a little bit slow. I probably don't get everything the first time. And excuse me, I'm sounding a little bit hoarse here. I've just had a kind of a head coldy thing for the last couple of days, so hopefully my voice holds out. So the first thing.
You sound so sexy when you've got a voice like that.
Oh, you're embarrassing me. Okay, all right. So the first thing I thought was, okay, you've got people in your funnel, you've got leads, so where do we go from here? So the first thing was, have you customized your follow-up emails? I.e., have you made them your own? Now, early on you talked about copying, and I'm certainly a fan of copying or modeling, but not just blanket. I like to use what people are doing as a template, and certainly I've used a lot of yours and Lawrence's emails over the time as a template to get the kind of emotional response that we need to. Remember, people buy on emotion, they don't buy on fact. So all communication is to generate some kind of emotional response from someone, and it could be polarizing your audience. And it's okay to, excuse the French, but piss people off and either get them to think, because really, if they're not going to take action and just hang around, that's okay. Get rid of them out of your list. Get them thinking about this. If they're really serious about making money online, they'll get it. So part of following up, part of the first thing is customizing your emails is personalizing them to you, changing the language to the language that you naturally talk to. This business is about being authentic to who you are. It's not about fake it till you make it. It's not about pretending. It's just about being authentic. So customizing your follow-up emails are definitely adding photos of you and your family, sharing your dreams and visions, sharing the success that you've had in your life that may not be related to online marketing if you're a beginner, but you've had success in your life. So tell people that story.
Yeah,
so that would be the first thing. And hearing what Toby did, just taking those 15 things, 15 follow-ups and turning it into 50, like how brilliant is that? Yeah. And I'm sure he's a member of lots of different lists, so he's just taking bits and pieces that resonate with him, adding his own personality to it, and getting that out there. So that's to be commended. That's leadership. That's and I want to say something else about what Toby did, because this is really, really important. I think people get stuck on the fact that it's each individual task that they do is going to make them success. But what you don't understand, by going out there and doing YouTube clips, going out there and writing blogs, going out there and composing emails, doing presentations, it's making you the person that you need to become. There's an energy. I don't know if you kind of get this, but there's a transformation within you when you start putting yourself out there. It's not the fact that you've put yourself out there, it's a transformation of what you go through to put yourself out there that will make you a success. Now, I really hope that makes sense. It's a little bit hard to articulate, but there's some magic that happens here. As soon as you step up and do those things, you'll just be amazed at what happens. So I'll just leave that out there and let you ponder that.
I think it's like anything, the more you do it, it becomes easier, not because the task becomes easier, it's you just become better at doing it. And that for us was like with the YouTube videos. I hated doing them at first. I was so self-conscious. I actually didn't think people would be interested in my life or interested in me. And so there was just a whole bunch of mental hurdles that I had to get through. And I remember you going through the same stuff. I remember you doing your first one. You had about 17 takes. You kept sending them through to me. And I said, they all look great. But I know you went through the same mental gymnastics. And then now we rattle them off at will, and we're doing hangouts and things, and it just feels really comfortable because we started to understand that people just want to see you how you are. They don't want to see this polished up, hyped up version. They just want to see real people, and that's the key. So I think now Toby, Scott did mention the fact that he admired what you've done, turning 15 into 50 follow-up emails. Can you just tell me really quickly what difference that made to your business as far as conversions go? Like personalising, taking what we had, so we've got a bunch of already pre-written autoresponder emails, and then customising them to who Toby is.
Yeah, well, I guess in the first instance, the first 15, they were, all I did in the very initial stage when I set up the funnel was to put photos in and a little bit of a story, and that converted a few people, and I had a few people join. But what I found when I did the extra ones is that I just had so many more people opening the emails and clicking on them. So obviously they're a percentage of them are interested, and they're the regular people that open the emails over time. So I think the first 15 emails, what maybe lasted a month worth of time, being sent every day or every second day. Now I've got mine up to, I don't know, there must be 3 or 4 months worth of autoresponders, and it's just made a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think in marketing terms, people always talk about top of mind marketing. That means if they're thinking about a certain product or thinking about doing a certain activity, they'll always recall the last thing that came into their mind. And top of mind marketing is very important in our business. If you're continuously in their face with emails, when they're in the looking zone for a business, they'll automatically think, oh, Toby Hartnoll-White, he's putting something together. Maybe I should look there because it's easily accessible. They're receiving it in their email box every day. So, yeah, really, really good comments. Now, let me just check something here. We've got a little chat thing happening between us to cover important points. So, all right, Toby rocks. Yes, he does. All right. So the next thing, Scott. So we've talk about customizing your follow-up emails. So don't just take them and then just send them out, because it's not going to sound like you, look like you, and that's one of the reasons. I reckon for me that's one of the biggest reasons that people don't get the response that they wish they got. And for me, that was the biggest difference. And I know for Scott too, when we started to personalise and put our own story into each email, that made a big difference. So the second thing you've written here, Scott, is do you do any additional email broadcasts to your list? If so, how often and what type of content do you send? What do you mean by that, Scott, and why is that important?
Yeah, as most people know, Aweber, when someone subscribes to your list, they're going to get their follow-ups on a regular basis. And Aweber and most other autoresponders allow you to send one-off broadcasts to your list. And what that's really good for is sending relevant, up-to-date information at that point in time to your list. So someone may have joined your list today but might not get a particular email for another, in Toby's case, 3 or 4 months. So if you find something that's really relevant to them, you found out a bit of training, you found out some news, maybe Mike Maloney's come out with a new video, or something's really current, it's a great way to communicate with your list instantly and keep them well informed and keep them up to the minute with what's going on with this business, with this industry. In our case, what's happening with gold or the manipulation of the markets. It's just a great opportunity to connect, to say, hey, look, I found this great video, or I've cut this quick video just explaining this, and just shoot it out to your list. So that's really what a broadcast is. When I'm in full-on marketing mode, I like to do maybe 2 or 3 broadcasts a week, but I want to keep it relevant. I don't want people to be bored of what I send, so I'm very careful about that. I'm not sending out emails for the sake of just sending out emails. I really want to add value.
Yep. Toby, do you send broadcasts out to your list?
Yeah, mate. I've been doing more and more of them. I do them sort of every 2 or 3 days at the moment. I just think there's so much more or relevant information that, like Scott says, is going to add value to my audience or to my list. And if it's relevant, I'm not scared to send them 2 emails a day. Which was a hesitation I had at the start. Like, I didn't want to sort of overwhelm people, but if regular people are opening the emails, they obviously find it beneficial, and if it's valuable content, then go for it.
Yep, and they can always unsubscribe. And I make a really big deal about, I have now anyway, of make sure at the very beginning of the email saying, if you don't wish to have any more communication from me, please unsubscribe here. Actually highlight it a whole bit. I've just started doing that recently because I actually do want to trim my list up, because it costs me money to actually host somebody's email on Aweber if they're doing nothing. So I actually want them to unsubscribe. It means the people that are on that list are active and actually want that information. So really important point. I must say I'm not the greatest one for broadcasting. I go through little spurts. I'm just about to do a few broadcasts. We've just moved house in the last couple of months, so I did a little video the other day of where we've moved to, and I'll send out a broadcast about that and just share with people, that we have moved. And come and join the journey with us in the Carrot Bars business. So there's always something happening in your life that might be of interest to someone or that they can relate to, and broadcast is definitely something that you should be doing. And don't be scared to get in people's faces. As I said, put the unsubscribe link at the very top, and people have, that way, they've got the option of unsubscribing, and they don't feel like they're receiving unsolicited emails, which they're not anyway, because they've opted into your list. Do you want to take us through the next one, Scott?
Yeah, I'll add something else to that, because it ties in with number 3. And whenever I do a broadcast, sure, a couple of days later, what I'll do is I'll go and open up that particular broadcast I sent, and I'm talking specifically with Aweber here, because that's the autoresponder that I know most of us use. And what you can do is, in Aweber, you can actually create what's called a segment. So I open up the broadcast that I sent, I click on the option that says something like, I think by default it shows you everyone who opened up your email, but there's another little button next to it. You can click on it, and it will show you all the people who didn't open up your email. Then you can actually just go save as segment, and then what you can do is you can resend that email out to anyone who didn't open it. So all I do is I just change the title of that email a little bit and just rebroadcast it, and that way my open rate increases quite significantly. And I may come back a week later and redo it again if I could be bothered with it. But it's just a great way, because email is just so different these days. If you don't kind of open it within the first couple of hours or day, most people just bin it, so they're just not reading it. So it's okay to resend it, and this way you're not kind of spamming people, because they didn't open up that email anyway. So it's just an opportunity to get some fresh eyes back on that email.
That's right.
So what I asked was, sorry, Albie, go ahead.
So yeah, you have explained that segment thing a few times to me, and I've sat there and tried to work it out, and I must admit I've put it in the too hard basket. I haven't actually used it myself. You might have to sit next to me next time you come into town and actually show me that one. Probably one of the more interesting parts of what you just said.
I'll do one better than that. I'll do a training video, and I'll make it available and put it up in the back office in that training area with the Aweber, just to show people how to do an Aweber broadcast, and then a rebroadcast of that. So I'll do a video of that, and then I'll be there for everyone in the team to learn how to really get their open rates up.
Fantastic, mate. I was just about to say one of the more interesting parts of what you just said with the roosters going off in the background there.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. They seem to just go all day. They love living in Bali too, and they're not afraid to let it be known.
That's right.
All right, sorry, I digress.
Right, number 3, mate. What's number 3 on the checklist?
Number 3. I asked this person what was their current email open rate like for both the follow-ups and the broadcasts. One thing you do want to do is go into Aweber and have a look at what the follow-up, what the open rates are for your emails, and that'll just give you an indication of what's going on in your business. Now, don't be surprised if your open rates are only 10, 15, 30%, and that'll dwindle over time. That's just normal, and that's why we always say keep working on your list, because after a while people, they might not unsubscribe, they'll just delete, or stuff goes to spam. But you want to keep an eye on what your open rates are like, and it'll tell you how well your subject headings are doing. And again, put emotional things into the subject heading, and you'll see a higher open rate. Just play with that, and that's a good way to test and measure
Mate,
the success of your email broadcasts.
I just want to comment on that. You know how Toby was saying before, he looks at emails that come through, he subscribes to different people's lists and things. What I actually do is I go through my spam and my trash list, and I get hundreds a day, like hundreds of bits of spam. And what I do is I just quickly glance over. I purposely do it really quick, and I make a point of looking at stuff that captures my attention straight away, headlines that capture my attention. And I've actually got a list on my computer, and I actually copy and paste those and put them in a list. And I just go through, and the ones that grab me straight away, the ones I want to open, because there are 3 components to an email. One is the headline. The only purpose of a headline is to get you to open the email, and the only purpose of the email is to get you to a point of action, which is either to click on a link or to unsubscribe. So the headline is so important, as you said, and so that's what I do. Is I go through my spam regularly, and I just go straight in and look at the stuff that captures my stuff that jumps out straight away. A little bit like you do, Toby, with with your autoresponder messages, taking other people's stuff and refining it to your own personal taste. So yeah, that's good. Just wanted to add that, Scott. So yeah, you're
that's
talking
awesome.
about.
And I think there's a.
You're right.
Sorry, mate, the Skype delay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say there's one other important thing about a headline, and that a headline is just one of the important components of an email. The second one is your name. You want to make sure that people are getting value out of your emails, that when they see an email that comes from you, regardless of the headline, they're going to be interested in clicking on it because you're starting to build a relationship with them and you're adding value. So not only is the headline very important, but your name that they see, the from field, to go, here's an email from Albie, here's an email from Toby, here's an email from Scott, here's an email from Lawrence. I know that's going to be really good and it's going to give me something that I need to grow my business. So that's the sort of value you want to add in people, that when they see your email, they go, rather than going, here's just more junk. Wow, I really want to click on that and find out what this guy or gal's got to say. All right,
I'll tell you
right
another little trick. Another little trick that I picked up a while ago, which increased my open rate by quite a large percentage, was if you're working in partnership with your wife or your partner, statistically you'll get like a 10 to 15% higher open rate if the email comes from a female. I know that sounds weird, but I think people generally trust maybe women a bit more online, or it's maybe a curiosity thing there. Who knows? Maybe other weirder underlying psychological things. So all my emails I actually have coming from Rachel. I hope she can't hear me. Oh, thank goodness for that. And I found my open rates really increased since. So that's just another little tiny tip. Don't know what you're going to do, Toby, because you're a single bloke, or maybe you can have it coming from Tobet or something.
I'm pretty happy with my open rate at the moment. As you know, we were chatting about comparing them the other day, so definitely know I'm on the right track. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you're getting a higher open rate than me, so mate, keep doing what you're doing. All right, Scotty.
Albie, maybe we could have a hangout where I can actually share my desktop and do some kind of a bit more Aweber advanced stuff too, sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty. Time is on our side, so and it'll be very, very valuable. I think up until now we really haven't done a lot of how-to stuff because we've really focused on sort of the broader picture and mindset and things like that. But I think we got to a point where a couple of little nuts and bolts things are pretty handy, and I think people will get a lot out of a session like this because we've had to go through the same frustration, and I know just about 99% of people will have gone through the same frustrations as your team member there has as well. So take us through the next one there Scotty.
Knowing how well YouTube clips work, I asked this person, have they done any YouTube clips and shared with them your list, and then if so, provide them with some links because I want to take a look at it. Now this is a really interesting question because I don't think everyone. Look, I'm in this whole. I'm an introvert, right? So, and hearing Albie, you as an extrovert, even you struggle doing YouTube clips. I think everyone should be doing YouTube clips, regardless of whether you're introvert or extrovert, because it's about you sharing you, and you don't have to be an extrovert to do that. Even if you're just screen sharing and showing something you learned and talking over it, doing nothing. This is a relationship business. YouTube is just the quickest way to, and we know this, we've tested this, YouTube is just the quickest way to build relationships. If I've got a lead that comes to me from YouTube watching one of my videos, they convert so much easier than just emails and photos from an email list. It's just out of sight. So team, if you haven't started doing YouTube clips, do it, do it, do it. It is the quickest way. And in the back office of MLSP, you can go to TubeMojo and it'll teach you how to build a YouTube clip, a YouTube channel, and get it SEO'd from scratch. So there's no excuse. Get onto YouTube. It is the best social media for building relationships.
Cannot endorse it enough. It was the turning point in my business. It was a turning point in your business.
Sure.
It's free. It's free. It's highly watched. What happens to the YouTube video is you become completely transparent. All of a sudden, you get away from behind the anonymity of your computer and you become a real person. People can see you as you are. Don't try and make it too polished. Just come across as being yourself. And people, especially if you've got a few videos, they'll get a real feel for who you are, how genuine you are, and they just want to know there's a real person on the other side that really genuinely wants to help them. What we're going to do is, Toby's actually posted his YouTube channel link on the chat here. We're going to make that available in the Skype team room after we've done this, and just have a look at what he's done. I've just had a quick look while I've been doing. He's got some fantastic videos there. I've seen some of his before, and they're just really nice, relatable videos. Most of you will have seen, you've posted already in the comments. Okay, good. Yeah, that's right. I can see that. So, look, YouTube videos cost nothing to make, and they'll make you a fortune, quite simply. You just become a YouTube video expert, and as Scott said in the back office of MLSP, if you don't know MLSPs, get together with your upline or get into the Skype room and we'll tell you what it is. It's our online marketing coaching program, and as Scott said, there's a what do we call it? A training module in there called YouTube Traffic Mojo, I think it's called, and it's absolute gold. It'll teach you to do all those tough little things, and you won't have to work it out for yourself. Cannot tell you the difference that YouTube has made for my business. As I said, 70% of people who have signed up in our business have come from YouTube. It's free, guys, and everything I do, all my marketing revolves around my YouTube videos. Every follow-up, just about every follow-up email, I'll have a link to a YouTube video. So, yep. Absolute goal. So become a YouTube expert. Just if you did one thing well, and you focused on one thing, make it YouTube, because it will make you a fortune. And just persist at it until you crack it. All right.
The other good thing.
Sorry, go, Toby.
I was just going to say the other good thing about YouTube is that if someone, say, joins your list from whatever source, might be a banner ad or a different source, they see your name on when they receive their first email, and what I like to do is Google that person's name to see if they're a legit person. Now, YouTube, being a Google company, is right up there at the top rank. So when someone Googles your name and your YouTube channel appears there, they click on that and then they see all your YouTube videos. There's your instant rapport and instant posture. So that's just another benefit.
Absolutely, the credibility factor. It's the same with me. Everybody's Googled themselves at one point, but first thing that comes up is a whole bunch of YouTube videos. So, yeah, fantastic, absolute gold. And pardon the pun, that's the business we're in. Far away, Scott.
So here's my challenge, guys. Over the next month, do 5, maybe 10 YouTube clips. Keep them short, 2 to 3 minutes, 5 max, and just get them up on YouTube. And later, if you don't like them, take them down. But just record it, add some value, maybe share what you learned from this Hangout, maybe share what you learned about gold, maybe share a bit about your personal life, whatever you feel like doing. Just do it, get it up there, get it out there, and just get experience and get comfortable with actually putting videos out there. So I want to see a whole lot of YouTube clips out there, guys, from this team. And remember, always put your Karatbar's lead capture page link in the comments. And just Google, top 10 SEO YouTube clips, and then just follow some of the stuff you get there on how to search engine optimize your YouTube clip. They're advanced things, but you can just start by Googling the top 10 tips, and you'll learn very quickly how to get a higher ranking with your videos. All right, we're going to move on, Albie?
Yep, perfect.
Next one was, apart from your follow-up emails, how else are you engaging your audience? And the reason I asked this question is pretty much because Toby and Albie summed it up. People are going to Google you, people are going to look at you. You want to make sure that you've got some presence somewhere. And I would recommend either having a blog, a website, a YouTube, or some social media, maybe a Facebook fan page. You want to have multiple sources of presence, because that's going to give you more authority. It's going to give you the ability for someone to look at you to go, wow, this person is out there and really living their business and talking about their business and passionate about it. So it's all about making sure that there are multiple ways where people can find you and engage you.
Yep, exactly. Yep. I don't think I need to add too much to that. I think we covered most of that in our previous comments there.
Now, moving on to the next one is, have you listened to the last 2 Team Google Hangouts? And if yes, what did you get out of it? And if no, then why haven't you listened to it? I just think the quality of information, I might be pretty biased because I've been on a few of these, but the quality of information we're giving is just absolutely outstanding. And everyone that's been on here, and I'm learning from everyone as well, there's just so many gold nuggets that you can take away from this that if you're not watching and you're not engaging this, you've got to ask yourself, how serious are you about this business? Look, I know they're 2 or 3 hours long, but if that means the difference between your success and failure, it's a no-brainer, guys. If you're not watching the Hangouts, if you're not keeping up to date with it, then you're not really engaged in this business, and why bother being here? I know it sounds harsh and blunt, but this is a business, not a hobby. We're trying to set you free, whether that's $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, or whatever. You've just got to put your time, effort, and learn. Take notes and apply. I'm going to get off my evangelist box now and let Albie say some words.
Well, I have to. One of the just let me give you an example. Last was it last week that those roosters, they get me. They're obviously pumped up. They're fired up, those roosters.
I wonder if you guys can see that. Can you see?
Show me. Oh, there we go. So that's your backyard, right? That's amazing.
Yeah, our villa backs on a whole big rice paddy field. So they've just churned up the paddy and ready for the next planting. So yeah, I'm right beside that. It's beautiful.
That's a long way from the big smoke, mate.
Yeah, and I love it. After 12 years in Sydney, I'm glad to be in paradise. Sydney's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I'll take the country any day.
The last week, the Hangout produced our record days of gold buying. After last week's Hangout, our team just went into an absolute gold buying frenzy, and it made February one of our record months. And it's when we posted in the in our team Skype room for people to go back there and have another look at it, and for people who hadn't seen it to go and look. We had another spurt, another run on gold. Guys, if you have got team members that are not plugged into our system and are plugged into the members site, and you're not promoting the Hangouts, you're leaving a lot of business on the table. It's free information, and it will make a difference to your business. We were absolutely astounded. It was almost immediately after the Hangout and during the Hangout that people went into a gold buying frenzy, and had a lot to do with LB talking about, what sort of leader are you, and people, will duplicate what you do. If you're the biggest gold, you want to be the purchaser of the most gold in your business. If you're the team leader, you want to be doing you basically want to be the sort of person that you want to sponsor. That's the sort of person you want to be. And if that means buying the most gold or buying as much gold as you possibly can, then do it. So yeah, very important point. Relook at the Hangouts. Get in the back office. We're going to actually make just talking to Rabs the other day, make a series and make one sort of video and with all the sort of the nuggets that come out. But that's probably an ongoing project as well. All right, so the Hangouts are very important. Now, what are we up to? Number 6, is that right?
Number 7, actually, Albie, and I just want to reiterate. Just come back to the point you've made. This week, my income has gone up 5 times, and I've only sponsored one direct person. It's just incredible what the team are doing, and I just want to share it and get it out there that this has just been phenomenal. The change and momentum, and I just think people are really getting a passion for this business. And if it was LB that fired them up, well, I'm right there with it. I'm fired up listening to LB. He's just a dynamite. And I love listening to him and his energy and his passion for the business. So thanks, LB, when you watch this. Good stuff, mate.
Man, he's gold himself. LB, we'll get him on again, and we'll just cut him loose, completely loose for an hour and a half, however long it takes. Man, he's a guy, an amazing story guy working at, I think it's Walmart or someone over there, for $11 an hour. Been trying to build not an online business, but a business for 40-something years, and failed time and time again. 40 years later, he's still making $11 in Walmart, gets into carrot bars, and just goes kaboom. Last month alone, stacked over 1,100 people into his downline. It is an insane story, and you listen to this guy, and you do not care what this guy's selling. You know, as I said, you could be selling teddy bears to the Russians, but you want in, and he is that excited and that pumped up. Anyway, but we had just an absolute spike in our gold price. So, guys, get your team to look at the Hangouts, get them into the training. All right, take us through to the next one there, Scotty.
It comes back to value, and it's a value question, because what we need to do is, I think the sales funnel is fantastic in the fact that it's offering a lot of value, which is education about what's happening with the gold system, the money system, what I keep calling the biggest scam in history. The US Federal Reserve, just basically a Ponzi scheme, printing money. That's a lot of value. But what extra value are adding to your list? I'm a big believer in sharing training, sharing more about you and your passion as a leader and why you want to do this. And this comes back to a very important question. And I'll get back into this after we go through these questions, because I made some notes before that I want to share with people. But it's about why you are doing this. Are you doing this to make money, or are you doing this to help people? And I'm a big believer, if you're just in here to make money, it's not going to work long term. I'll tell you that right now. You've got to be believing in helping other people, helping them get what they want. And to do that, it means learning some tricks, learning some tools, learning something, sharing something from your life that's going to inspire people, going to educate them, get them to take some action. So what extra value are you offering your list? And that can be through your follow-up emails or doing your broadcasts. Sharing inspirational videos like the one I shared the other day on success, which I watch every day now because I think that's just such a great video.
Yes.
You want to be adding extra value to your list, and there are many ways of adding extra value. You could do an MLSP training course, take some notes, or do some training anywhere else on the web. Make some notes, record a video, or even make some notes and just email your list. Or you know, a lot of us have been in programs where we've got free ebooks like Think and Grow Rich, and a whole lot of books. So I've got a whole lot of stuff that I've done that in the past. Every now and then I've just emailed out a free ebook to my list to say, look, thanks for being on my list. Here's a free ebook that I got a lot of value from. I hope you do too.
Yep.
Anything else to add, Toby? Or
Toby, do you send out emails with sort of information about, say, gold or the economy or that sort of thing? Is that sort of that you send out to your list? Bit of educational type material?
Yeah, if something comes through, like Scott was saying, like if something from Mike Maloney comes through, I'll add a video and sort of write my thoughts about the topic. I've got one scheduled from one of his last ones that I can't remember what it's called, something about America. Yeah, so I do share those educational ones and some of the Jim Sinclair, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, perfect. No, Mike Maloney for me is just like any of his videos, is just so relatable and so simple to understand. He's articulated them very, very well. He's had to. I mean, it's an interesting story with Mike Maloney. He's actually dyslexic, and he had to learn how to explain things simply because that's how his mind understood it. And so, he's become one of the greatest exponents of the gold of our generation, I would say. He's an amazing guy. So it's just so the point there, Scott, was to give them an education, because when you get your focus off yourself and your money and you focus on helping other people, the other stuff's going to get, the stuff you want's going to get caught up in a slipstream anyway, right?
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. All right, take us through to, we must be up to number 7, is it?
No, number 8. We've just covered 7. So number 8 is, what do you do on a daily or weekly basis to work on your own mindset?
Right. Yep. Sorry, I'm actually going on a different list here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, mate. Yep.
I'm actually going off the email. Now I'm just got to your list, which is not actually numbered. It's got dots.
No. I'm actually going off the numbered email list. I haven't got to the other stuff yet.
Oh, okay. Because
I've
got number 7. Yeah. Number 7 is what do you do on a daily or weekly basis to work on your own mindset? But that's okay.
That's odd.
Yep.
It's okay. I'm a big believer in self-development and personal development. I know Lawrence and Albie and a lot of the other leaders are, which means making sure that you're reading, you're listening to audios, you're watching videos on mindset, motivation, personal development. It's just part of the journey. And the more you work on yourself and the more you educate yourself, the wealthier you'll become, not only just in money terms, but in richness terms of life, what real wealth is. That's constant, never-ending. I love Tony Robbins. I've got a lot of his audios on my iPod, a lot of Wayne Dyer, a lot of Robert Kiyosaki, and a whole lot of other books, and the 4-Hour Work Week. Some stuff's head stuff, some stuff's heart stuff. I'm just a big believer in immersing yourself in that and making that part of your routine.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the things that have really helped change the way I think are, books. I keep coming back to it, is How to Win Friends and Influence People, because it's really a misnomer, that book. It sort of sounds like you're trying to manipulate people into a certain direction, but what it's really about, it's getting interested in other people, genuinely interested in other people, and talking less about yourself and listening more. And that's a wonderful, wonderful little book. There's another little one called People Skills by a guy called Les Giblin. It's only about probably 10 or 11 pages long, tiny little thing. Fantastic. People skill books, I reckon one of the greatest life skills you can learn is just people skills. If you've got that, you can just about dominate any industry, particularly the online marketing industry, because it's a whole business which revolves around building relationships with people and getting along with people. Toby, do you spend any time sort of reading books, or how do you give yourself your mindset and improving your thinking?
Yeah, I'm not much of a book reader, but I'm a massive audio person. So
Okay.
it's the same thing. So whenever I'm out exercising, I'm playing in either it might even be like a spiritual or philosophical sort of tape, or an educational side like Robert Kiyosaki or something like that. But what I've been doing recently is actually just playing the replays of the Hangouts on my phone and plugging it through the speakers of my car while I'm driving. So
wow.
yeah, so I mean it's just that constant, being around successful people, and it just rubs off. So that's what I've been doing.
That's a great idea. Yeah, really good. I'm also listened to a fair bit of a guy called Igor Ledachowski. That's Igor Ledachowski. If you just punch in Igor and then just have a go at punching in Ledachowski, it'll Google will automatically get your spelling right. I'm not about to spell it because I can't even think of how the spelling is. Amazingly gifted, gentle speaker, and I've got an enormous amount from that guy, and it's all audio, and it's worth every cent getting hold of Igor's stuff as well. But I think everybody will relate to a different sort of person depending on where they are in their journey, in life or in business. I've just recently been really touched by that video you shared the other day, Scott, by Brendan Burchard. I must have watched that thing. I must have watched that 10 times. Amazing. It was one of those sort of reset buttons in my head. I think, I've been drifting off in that direction for a while. I needed to be pulled back into line. So, cannot overstate the importance of it's GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. You've got good stuff coming in, good stuff coming out. Improve your thinking, because you know what, if you're going to build a business like this, you're going to be leading a team of people. And if you're going to be leading a team of people, you want to be able to lead them. You don't want to be looking at them going, wait for me, I'm your leader. And so you need to be ahead of them with your thinking, and you need to be developing yourself into a leader, because you want to be the person that you want to sponsor. And I keep coming back to that. But if you're not the person that people want to be involved with, then they'll go and find someone else. Like Toby said, he's got heaps of people that come to him and say, can I join your team? And he obviously says no, because we don't believe in people changing from another team to his team. But it just goes to show you the mindset that people want to follow someone who knows where they're going. And the best way you can become a leader is to change your mindset. We talk about it all the time. Your mindset knowing where you're going. People always follow somebody who knows where they're going. Okay, Scott, I know my numbers are all out of sequence here, so you're the detail guy.
We'll just call it the next one. How about that?
Yeah, the next one, yeah.
Look, I asked this particular question because I got a sense of feeling, and as the people who know me, I'm a kind of a language guy. I pick up on people's language. I tune into where they're coming from because of their language, and I'm very big on that, and that's some of the training that I've done. And I had to ask this question. I said, do you really believe in this business and the pending financial collapse? Because I'm not a fan of being in a business and just flogging stuff. I'm in a business because I'm passionate about the business and because I believe in it, because I have conviction about that it's solving a particular problem. And the problem is people want to create money from home, income from home. The problem is people want to protect their wealth from whatever's coming. The problem is we want to help others to do the same. So there's lots of problems there, and this is the solution. So I just wanted to find out from this team member whether he really believed in it enough. And I don't think he's quite there yet. And that's okay. It's just a reflection on what I see. And he can decide whether, yeah, look, I'm not really passionate about it, I just want to make money, so maybe I'll move to the next shiny thing. Or hang on, this is something I believe in and I'm going to get across with conviction. Because that conviction will come across in your emails, in your blog posts, in your YouTube clips, and anything else you get out there. So I just want to ask people, check in with themselves, do you really believe in this business? Because it's not going to work unless you believe in it.
Look,
I know that from past experience.
We'll go back to our previous comments, and I think one of the greatest examples is LB Bashir over in the States there. And guys, I encourage you to go and look at the previous Hangout to this one in the back office and go and look at LB. You are left in no doubt that that guy is passionate about what he's doing, believes in it. You are left 100%, no change left, that guy is committed to his business and believes in it and is passionate about it. And people need to see it in your eye, because something subconsciously translates when you speak to someone and your heart's not in it. They will pick up on the little subtle language and the subtleties of whether you're genuine or not. Okay, if you're not passionate about this, like it's the old saying, if you love what you do, if you're passionate about what you do, you're never going to work another day in your life. And this is why I got involved in the Carrot Bars business. This is why I spoke to Lawrence and Scott when we first got started. I said, this is something that I can hang my hat on, that I want to keep doing for the rest of my life, because it's something that I genuinely believe in. I believe it's going to improve people's life. I believe it's the right business at the right time in history. It's at the crossroads. And this business is for me. And, you know, I'm committed to this thing, and that's what they need to see in your eye. They need to see the passion. They need to see that you are committed to this business. You're committed to them, not just till the next best thing comes along, the next shiny, you know, easy making money thing. We've been there and done that. Toby and Scott together, we've all done that. We've been on the same journey. Yeah, we rode the gravy train for a couple of years and bounced from one business to the next because there was easy money involved. But you know what? There's no integrity in that in the end, you know, and our credibility copped a hiding through that. But this business is solid, guys. It's going to hang around for a very, very long time. There is no reason why it won't. It's built on solid foundations. We believe in it. They need to see that in your eyes. And if you need to watch some Mike Maloney videos or listen to Cheryl Ann or Tammy or listen to LB, go back and listen to that last Hangout. Listen to LB. You'll just get completely and utterly immersed in this business. And when you get immersed in anything, it will translate, and people will look at you and they'll say, I want to go where that guy's going. I don't even care what he's doing. And that's the point where you need to get to. And obviously, Toby, you're a believer in what you're doing because your results would prove that.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. Like, I don't think I need to add much to what you and Scott just said. It's just absolute conviction. I know I'm in the right place at the right time, and I knew that from when I saw that very first video about from Mike Maloney and Carrot Bars. I just knew it just resonated very well. And I've promoted some crap out there in the past, and like you say, it's just I found my home.
Yeah.
And Toby, I hadn't met you. I hadn't had the pleasure of meeting you until today. And thank you very much for coming on this Hangout, because it's been absolutely eye-opening for me to see your journey. And instantly, I know how much you're engaged in this business. I can see how passionate you are about it. Immediately, I just know you live and breathe it, and that comes across to me. And I've just met you, so I believe that's what it takes. Just throw yourself in there, fall in love with this business if you haven't already. And guys, I need to stress this: not everyone is meant to be an LB. Okay, I'm an introvert, so I understand that, and that's why we've got people like LB, because you can send your prospects to maybe one of his presentations or his style. You don't have to be like that, but you just need to have that conviction inside you. You don't have to be outwardly, I don't know, flamboyant about it. That's okay, but just, people just be rock solid about it and just own it. I guess that's what I've got to say. I think I'd like to be a little bit more like LB, but I'm a bit reserved.
And that's the great thing about having a team and Hangouts is.
Yeah.
You get a bit of flavour from everybody. You get your extroverts, your introverts, and you get a bit of everything. So and that was a really, really important point, Scott, that you an important question that you asked is that do you really believe in this business? And of course the pending financial collapse, which is why we're in this business. We're doing this as a hedge against what's going to happen with the collapse of the US dollar. All right, buddy, take us on to the next one, as we now call it. Okay,
and this is important, and I can't stress this enough. And I'm going to elaborate on this question. The question was: are you purchasing 1 gram of gold a week or 4 grams a month? And if not, why not? Because if you believe in this business, you'll be purchasing a minimum of 1 gram a week or 4 grams a month, 5 grams a month, whatever it is. If you're not doing that, if you're saying, oh, I'll wait until I build a downline, and then what I'll do is I'll start to use my downline income to buy the gold, you're setting yourself up for failure. That is the wrong mindset. You absolutely have to commit to this business, commit to the 12-week plan, purchase your gold from day one, believe in it, knowing that if you do this, you're going to encourage people who follow you to do exactly the same, and within no time you'll get your gold paid for. And if you're thinking, oh, I'll just start small, if you're thinking, oh, I'll just come in at bronze, you're not taking this business serious enough. You're dabbling. You're not committed. Get in there, boots and all, and if after 12 weeks something's gone wrong, you've bought your gold, you're not building a team, just plug into the Hangout, try and tune into what's not going right, because you cannot be leading this business without buying the gold yourself. It's just so fundamental. You can't be out there, I don't know what the analogy is. Albie's absolutely the analogy legend, but you just can't be building this business without actually committing to it and actually following the steps. I see so many people in the team going, oh, it's not working for me. Well, you're buying gold? No, I'm waiting to earn some money. That is just, the cart before the horse. So I need to take a drink. Albie, you want to just take over?
Sure, mate. We have a recipe, which is, we call it a system, but it's a recipe. It's we have a 12-week plan. That 12-week plan involves plugging people into a system. It involves buying gold for yourself. It involves doing certain things, and the system is like a recipe. If you take one of the ingredients out, let's say like it's a recipe for chocolate cake, you take one of the eggs out of the recipe, then it's going to be a mess, a complete and utter mess. Guys, you need to be purchasing that gold every week because it's part of a system that works, and it's part of the recipe. But that's just on a like an academic level. But just from a practical point of view, is you need to be putting gold away for the impending financial collapse of the US dollar. That's going to happen. It's and when it happens, it'll happen quick. And that's not the point. I mean, the point life jacket is not when you fall out of the boat. Okay, go and buy the life jacket before you go out fishing. Okay, thinking about buying a life jacket when you're in the water is really the wrong time. Okay, you need to be buying a gold, number one, because it's a responsible thing to do. Okay, number two, you need to be an example to your team, and you know what? They're going to subconsciously pick up whether you're fair income or not, and whether you're real or not by the little things that you do and you don't do. And so whatever you do in your business, good and bad, is going to duplicate. Scott and I were discussing that during the week. It's that, you know, people will copy about 80% of what you do wrong and 20% of what you do right. So you just got to make sure you do the right things most of the time. And this business is based on duplication. So that's part of the recipe. Duplicate it. Be the best at it. Be the best in your business at it. And purchasing gold, so important. I imagine you purchased the odd bit of gold yourself there, Toby?
Yeah, mate, I've been sticking to the plan from day one, and actually, it's funny you mentioned, but by the end of next week, I'm going to be making my biggest purchase yet, and yeah, it's going to be up around the kilo mark. So I'm, like I said, I'm 100% convicted. I know this shit, you know, and what's coming down the pipe. So, cheers.
Mate, I know you're on the program because I get the emails every week saying your affiliate has just made a payment. And the funniest thing is, I don't know whether you're doing this as a joke, Susan, but while we're talking about it, Susan's just gone in and bought a bunch of gold as well. So I just got an email. I'm sure you're listening to this, Susan, and you're going straight in because Susan's another one who's absolutely, Susan Skiff is absolutely on the program. So, yeah, fantastic. All right, so we've established that you really do need to purchase the gold. We've established why. And Scott, I know you do too, because I can see my back office. It's really interesting, isn't it? I look in my back office and I can see all the leaders there, and every single person that's got a big business are the biggest gold purchasers in our business. It's quite that simple. No anomalies or mistakes there. Take us through to the next one.
It comes back to what you said. Yeah, Albie, it comes back to what you said, and you want to be the type of person you want to sponsor. So you want to be buying your gold because the people you sponsor, you want to be buying gold and following your steps. It's just so fundamental. And if you apply the I'll get in and I'll wait and see approach, you're just not what's the word? You just haven't got the conviction you need. You just need to get in there and take action. Everyone talks about taking action. That's part of this business, taking action, believing in it. So they were the questions that I put forward to my downline. I got a really good response to them, and I'm going to be spending some time and mentoring him and taking him through, just tweaking a little bit that he needs to do to make him a success in his business, because I think he's about 70% of the way there. So I was up late last night, and I was chatting to Albie. I think it was 4 a.m. your time, Albie. It was certainly 1 a.m. my time, and I just couldn't sleep. I'm so excited about this business. I had, 300 euros cycle in overnight, which is just phenomenal, and it's just got me more and more fired up. So I want to run through some.
And can I just remind you? Can I just remind you of the fact the reason that I was awake is because Ravs was being a clown.
Yeah, absolutely.
just thought I needed to just establish that again.
Rab's the clown.
Sorry, mate, you're on a roll there, and I've just.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I've just jumped right in front of you.
That's quite okay. This is what this hangout's for. We're just chilling. I don't even think that the people there. It's just like us hanging out, talking about how we build our business, and knowing that people are going to get great value from this. And my hope is that people become even more of a success than what we've had, because we want to fast track everyone. We want to avoid them from going through all the pit holes, all the trial and errors. They're going to have their own learnings, of course, we know that. But we're here to fast track everyone, and I wish we had this when we started. Anyway, so it got me thinking last night, because I thought, well, let's. Albie was saying, right, let's build a checklist. Let's show the team, how to keep them on track. I went, yeah, this is really good. So I thought more about this, and the most important question you've got to ask yourself, I believe, about this business, about anything, is actually getting centered in yourself, stopping and taking some time out, and asking yourself the most important question is why. What is your why? Why are you here? Why are you attracted to this business? Why do you want to make money online? What's your bigger purpose here? I think we've all got a bigger purpose here. It's more than just making a few bucks and protecting gold. There's a bigger reason here. We've all been drawn to this amazing business, this amazing community, and I think everyone needs to take time out, and certainly I do this on a regular basis, and say, okay, What's my why? Why am I here? Check in with your own integrity, your own intuition, and tap into that, because there's so much power when you really get the clarity on why you're here. I know what I'm here. I'm here to help a lot of people. I'm here to help thousands of people, hopefully more than that, but certainly thousands of people through my direct influence and through my teams to make a really big impact in their life where they're no longer dependent on a job, a JOB job, where they're putting savings into gold, where they're getting ready for the financial collapse. I come from an IT background and also a finance background, and I think, you know, I've been through a journey. I've built up a huge property portfolio, massive amounts of share trading, options trading, and folks, I lost a lot a couple of years ago. And that was the greatest gift I ever had. I didn't know it at the time, but for me, it really clarified my why. It took the focus off me and just building some income for me and for Teeny, and hopefully our future family. And it put back on, why am I here? I'm here to learn, I'm here to share my learnings, and I'm here to inspire others to do what they want to do. So please take some time out this week, or whenever you listen to this Hangout, stop it, pause it, spend 5 minutes just meditating, contemplating, having a little prayer about why you're here. I just think that that question needs to be asked before any of this technical stuff needs to be explored. It's such a fundamental piece of information. And if you remember from last week's Hangout, I spoke about motivation, inspiration. Your why will give you your inspiration. Tapping into that. Yeah. Think about it. Cool. So with that, I'll just move through. Most of this is kind of head stuff. But I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I know Albie's big why. You, Albie, mate, you're just such a giver. You really want to see people succeed. So does Lauren, so does Cheryl Ann, so does Tammy. Everyone shares that big why. It's more than just themselves. Yeah, we're going to make a bucket load of money out of this business, and that is fantastic, because, like me, I can live in Bali. I have help around the house. Everything gets done for me. I can focus a couple of hours a day on my business. I can go out and enjoy my life and have a really good balanced life. You know, that's part of my why, but I want others to have that too. And I don't care whether you're sponsored by me or any other great leaders in here. Everyone wants to have a sense of freedom. And, you know, this is my big why, to help people with freedom. And I know all the leaders across the board share the same principle and philosophy as I do. It's clear. All right. Having said that, is there anything you want to add to that, Albie?
Mate, I honestly don't think there's anything I can add to that. It just comes back to the old adage of, you know, if the why is big enough, then the how doesn't count. You'll just find a way how to do it. And, you know, the why is, you just got to flesh it out. So anything I'm going to try and add will actually detract from what you've just said.
Cool, thanks, man. Yeah, the saying that I use, if the why is big enough, the who and the how will show up. I studied a thing called Wealth Dynamics with Roger Hamilton, and it's a bit like a profiling tool, and that's helped me a lot in my personal development. And I was always stuck on the how. How do we do stuff? How do I do the marketing? How do I place ads? How do I do this? How do I do that? In hindsight, that stuff doesn't actually matter, because it will be given to you if your why is big enough. You need to know why you want something and when you want it, and the how and the who will just show up. White magic is just incredible. All right, enough of that. It's good stuff, but let's keep moving. Guys, what's your marketing budget? What is your marketing budget? Weekly, monthly, however you do your budget. If you're coming into this business without a budget for marketing, you're not going to be setting yourself up for success. It's a business. Every business requires traffic. The best form of traffic is paid traffic. Even if you do YouTube, there's ways to spend money to SEO your YouTube. How are you spending your money? Have a budget and committed to it. Because so many people come here absolutely flat broke, trying to make money, and they're just coming from the wrong place. This is a business. It's an online business, online store. It's so cheap to set up. In fact, it's very cheap. You buy a package and you're away. So have the mindset, okay, I'm in business, I need some advertising dollars. I'm going to be spending money, whether it's going to be the lead co-op, whether it's doing solo ads, whether it's doing banner ads, whatever method of marketing you're doing, Facebook PPC. Yeah, sure, there's some free stuff out there. It takes your time. But if you're serious about this business, you want to drive serious traffic, it costs some more. So make sure you've got a budget. Now, here's a key. Here's a key to investing. Here's a key to business. Reinvest some of your profits back into marketing. I suggest a minimum of 20% of your monthly income needs to be diverted back into marketing. This will set you growing on an exponential rate. If you stick to that minimum 20%, can you imagine what your advertising budget is when you hit $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month? Your business just skyrockets. That's a fundamental principle. It's a bit like the fundamental principles that are talked about in The Richest Man of Babylon. And if you haven't read that little book, it is just a goldmine of 10 key money principles. Richest Man in Babylon. Look at, I think it's probably free PDF somewhere. It's got some great principles. Pick a marketing method that resonates with you and focus on it. Start with one, master it first. Then maybe diversify into 2 or 3. Pick either YouTube, Facebook PPC, solo ads. I could rattle off a whole lot of little places. But pick something and become good at it. Not only become good at it, be good at it and share what you learn with your list. Add the value. So there's 2 things to that. 1, you're going to create more leads. 2, you're going to add more value and build a better business. Because there are 2 parts to this business. It's your direct referrals, the people you bring in, and the support you give your team to build their team. Albie last week talked about width and talked about depth. You want to be thinking of both, and choosing a marketing method will help both of those. Choose a buddy to work with. This has been huge for Albie and myself. We keep each other accountable. Pick someone with different skill sets. Find someone maybe in the Skype room or one of your downline or a friend of yours. Come together, set up weekly meetings, work on the business together, work off the strengths of each other, and you'll find you'll halve the work that you have to do. There's so much leverage and power in that.
Can I just comment on that, Scott?
Yeah, please, Albie.
That was another. I said YouTube channels were YouTube videos were one of the things that revolutionized our business. But it was actually that was as a result of working together with yourself, Scott. You remember we had a Monday meeting every Monday morning. We had a marketing whiteboard, the whole bit, like a proper meeting, a strategy meeting. We had Scott would always have an agenda, and we'd go through that, and we'd go point by point by point. We'd work out what we needed to work on in a business, how we could improve, and then eventually when we met Lawrence, with Lawrence, we have daily chats with Lawrence. I chat to Lawrence twice a day, and as it turns out, 2:30 in the morning. But you need to find somebody. Some people are good at doing keeping themselves motivated, but you know what? I'm not great at that. I need somebody that I'm sharing stuff with. I'm the sort of person I'd be lousy on a deserted island. Rachel, my wife, she could be quite happy on a deserted island with a good book. I'd die with it because I wouldn't be able to talk to anybody. So Scott and I, we were really toughed out the first year of our online marketing enterprise together, week by week by week meeting. I'll tell you another couple in our business is Tina Blau and Diane, and those 2 guys get together for regular. They have proper business meetings, and they're starting to build a really big team. And all the guys, a lot of the guys who are building offline businesses have meetings. It's treat it like a business, get together. And I'll just go back to what you're talking about, the marketing budget. There's not too many farmers that turn up and look at the field and sit there, put a chair down and wait for the crop to grow. And then after 12 months, nothing happening, say, well, nothing's happened. There's no growth. You've got to get out there and plant the seeds, till the soil, okay, and spend the money on that. You've got to spend the money to see the money, and you've got to churn that crop back into the soil sometimes. And Scott and I did that for well over a year. We every single cent of profit, we poured it back into it. I mean, to our detriment. I mean, we both had the most enormous debts, and we lost everything together. And I mean, everything and then some, hundreds of thousands more of then some. And some of you will know the story from a previous Hangout, how much the then some was. There's many hundreds of thousands. So for us, pouring that money back into marketing was very, very difficult. And I had the sheriff coming through my house taking a stock take of everything we owned while I was pouring that money back into marketing. But I can tell you today that we are paying our bills and we are getting on top of all that, and we have our $20,000, $25,000 and $30,000 months through the Carrot Bars business and growing. And you know what? Do I look back and begrudge all that money that I put back into marketing? Not 1 cent. Scott's living over in Bali, living a lifestyle that most people would envy because we poured our profits back into the business. Okay, so that's a very important thing that you mentioned there. And Toby, I'm sure that you've got a pretty healthy budget for your marketing as well.
Yeah, exactly, and it wasn't always the way. Like when I first started out, it's obviously smaller, but as you say, I just keep reinvesting in this business because I mean, I'm actually convicted that this is it, and my marketing budget gets bigger and bigger every month, and it's just a matter of scaling it up. It's
Yep.
And it just so it just goes round and round. You spend a bit more on advertising each month, and a bit more, and then that explosion will come.
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
There's a critical mass that happens. It's amazing.
Yep. All right, Scott. Sorry, I had to throw in that.
Yeah, sorry. There's a critical mass that happens, particularly with your advertising. It's just exploding. Is Toby's right on? There's just that explosion. Is that all of a sudden, your leads are converting, and it's just momentum. It's just the most amazing thing.
Yes. Yeah, and look, the point you want to get to in the business. I had this conversation with someone during the week. They said, "Well, how long should we be building the business for?" You want to get in this business, and when you get in, you want to start as big as possible. I call it giving it a big sneeze. If you want to travel like a virus, like Toby said, he wants to go viral with this business. Well, the best way to pass a virus around is start sneezing everywhere and passing that virus. When you get into this business, give it the biggest sneeze you possibly got. Give it everything you've got for 6 months, and get to that what I call the critical mass point. Critical mass point is, I'll give you an example. Over Christmas, we lost our internet for 4 months. 4 weeks while we were moving house. I think it was maybe closer to 5 weeks. Had no internet for 5 weeks.
Felt like 4 months.
It felt like 5 years. And I was really worried because I'm thinking, well, I've got this business we've just started, and I'm just going to lose all this business. And I got back online. Our business was not only more profitable, but it was bigger, which was actually a sad reality check, Scott and Toby, thinking that this business actually works better without me. But it also means we've got to that what I call critical mass point. Now, that's thousands of people in your business, and the only way to get to thousands of people in your business is just to start off big, get your leaders well established, and then you'll get to a point where you're not working on your business so much, but you're working in your business. That means you're developing the leaders. You're going there and seeing what your leaders need, and you're doing the hangouts, and and it's just a whole bunch of fun when you get to that point because the pressure's off. The business is just taking off. I mean, we've got at the moment 100. Sometimes we've had 200 people join our team in a day, but on average, we're getting 100 new people in our team every single day, whether I'm online or offline. Every 5 minutes, somebody's getting into our business somewhere in the world. And that's a beautiful feeling, but it starts off with a lot of work, and you've just got to give it everything you've got for 6 months. Just give it the biggest sneeze you've got. Let that virus just get all over the place. Get it out there. Now, I forget exactly why I went on that track of thought, but just felt like I needed sharing.
It's all good. It's all good, mate.
As you know, Scott, I'm probably an undiagnosed ADD, so I completely forgot where I've come from and where I've headed. So that's why I need you around. We used to have a running joke. We used to have a running joke, Scott and I, because I used to get us involved in stuff in businesses, and then Scott would explain what I just got us involved in, right?
Exactly.
We're going to sit down and have a meeting, and I'm going to explain to you what you've just got us into. Whatever it is, it's good, Scott. All right. Sorry, mate.
Shall I keep going? No worries.
Yes.
List of outsourcing sites for projects. As you start to get a little bit bigger in your business, you want to outsource some things. You may want someone to tune your YouTube channel. You may want someone to create banners for you. I use Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Very small but good outsourcing site. You want to make sure that you focus on what you're good at and outsource the rest. That's probably one for the leaders out there and those that are building a business and really want to leverage their time. So Fiverr.com is great for those sort of projects because you don't want to be doing everything. I've got here, what is your skill going to be? What are you going to master and add value to? This business is great, but let me tell you something. It's not going to just sell itself on its own. You are the product. You are the thing that people are going to be attracted to, as well as the business. It's a combination. And I think newbies to this business will probably not get that. They think, well, I'll just set up a sales funnel, promote the business, and I'll just sit behind here and being pretty much anonymous or obscure. In this day and age of internet marketing, I don't believe that formula works. You've got to sell yourself. Now, that's just being truthful to yourself and covering all the things we've talked about, being available for your team, putting yourself out there, showing people who you are, that you're a real person, that you're committed to this business, and all the things we've talked about. So pick a skill. If it's going to be learning something, a particular marketing technique or something like that, make sure you're sharing that list and be known for that kind of skill. That will be how you differentiate yourself from everyone else in the market, in our Carrot Bars team or in Carrot Bars or any other online business. Okay, yeah, we'll be wrapping this up quite soon. I've got to go myself. Goals, guys. I'm a big believer in goals when you're starting out, having weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly goals. So, there's heaps of stuff on goals. It's just a note there, have some goals. I'm a big fan of planning your week and recording your activities. So how are you spending your time? Because I know I get caught and I get distracted a lot. So I need to put 2 hours, 2.5 hours aside and just shut off everything and just do a task, get it done, and then go back to what I'm doing. So just be aware of how you're spending your time. I use a calendar and track it. Yeah, Albie?
One of the real nuggets I got out of what Toby was talking about before, that he's very, very clear about his yearly, monthly, daily goals there. Toby, is that something that you've had to learn, or is that something that's come quite naturally to you, or?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've always been a goal setter, but I've always had a sort of a pie in the sky figure. But until recently, I've never really broken it down as into, like I said before, like how many cycles of the dual team am I going to need per week or per day? How many paid members am I going to need to personally sponsor to hit these targets? And like, based on my current ratio, how big is my Aweber list going to need to be to hit those? And when I break it all down, then I just match up what I need to do on a daily basis and those money-making activities, to match it. So it doesn't seem so daunting like I want to make $5,000 a week from this date. I've actually broken it down step by step so it's manageable.
Absolute gold right there, guys. I do something similar. I know how big my list is. I know what my conversion rate is. I know how many people are sponsored out of that list. I know how much money I make every week. I know how much we make on a daily basis. I've broken it all down. I know how many people. My goal is by the end of this year is to cap out on our business, which is the €25,000 a week level. And my goal is I know exactly what my business has to look at by then. I know how many people I have to sponsor. I know how many people that I sponsor, how many of those are going to be active. I know how many people I need to put in my Aweber list, which means I know how much money I've got to spend on advertising. So yeah, fantastic. It's so important to be doing that. All right, Scott, take it away there, mate. What are we up to? Is he there? No, I think he's just ducked off for a sec.
Yeah,
no, you're back, buddy.
Am I on mute? Am I on mute? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear.
I can hear you, mate.
Oh, great. Sorry, I thought I was on mute, guys. There's only a couple more to go. List growing activities done daily. This is so important. You want to be doing something to generate leads every single day. Whether it's doing YouTube clips, putting out ads there, sending out broadcasts, whatever you do. You need to actually broadcast aren't really list generating activities. I'll get onto that next. But it's about consistency, and certainly not every day. Make it a regular part of your routine. A couple of days a week, we're actually trying to generate leads into your capture page. Keep it consistent, keep those leads coming in. I think there's much more to add to that. The next one is contact your downline often and your prospects list even more often. So you want to be communicating with your team. When I have someone join, I have them opt into a training list so I can connect with them and share everything that's going on. Because what happens is I set up Aweber. When someone moves from being a prospect into a member, I unsubscribe them from the prospect list and put them in the member list, so they're not getting my broadcasts anymore. So I make sure I'm communicating with my team, and that's very, 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 very important. And I know Albie, Lawrence, and all the other leaders do that very well.
Mate, I've got the most
Fine.
untidy Aweber list in the history of internet marketing. I'm really not a great example. So you've got a nice and tidy list. I would know that.
Yeah, I'm kind of a detailed kind of guy. Find useful content and share it with your lists. That's your team lists and your prospects. So making sure you're finding good quality content. We've covered that. Learn more about gold, learning about the economic, up-and-coming economic financial meltdown. Plug into all the stuff that we're sharing just so it's always top of mind, because in a fast-paced Western world, it's easy to get distracted and removed from what's going on, but there's so much in this going on that we can share. Participate in the Skype room and the Google Hangouts. Buy as much gold as you can, minimum 4 grams a month, and get your face out there. Be known. Pick some videos. So that's kind of the basis of this, the business checklist, Albie, that I'll work on and make sure we get up over the next week.
Oh, that's awesome, and as you can see, my daughter's sort of ticking her watch because she's actually off for her driving lesson. So maybe after today, I don't have to drive around everywhere. So I've got to get moving off too. Mate, this has been an awesome session, Toby. I want to thank you so much for sharing stuff and just letting us have a little bit of a sneak preview into your business life. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, but also really solid information there. So thanks very much, Toby.
Thanks, Toby.
Thanks everyone. It's good to be part of the team, and yeah, look forward to doing some more of these in the future.
Fantastic, mate. Well, you'll be absolutely welcome to come back. And Scott, as always, my friend, we've done so much over the years, and as I listen to you, I sort of swell up with pride because I know where you've come from. I know where you are now, and you've been on an amazing journey. We've travelled so much of the journey together, and I'm just so enormously proud of the man you've become, the business leader you've become, the business you've developed, and you know, in anticipation, I'm proud of what you're about to do as well, because I know we've spoken about your aspirations and your goals to come. So fantastic. Thank you for sharing your insights as well.
Thanks, Albie. Always a pleasure.
I must also say thanks to Rabs in absence. Even though we love him dearly, he's a bit of a clown at times. I want to thank him, and I'm sure I say this on behalf of yourself too, Scott, because we've travelled a lot of that journey with him too, is to say thank you for his mentorship, his friendship, as well. He's a wonderful leader of our team, and you know we wouldn't be the team we are without him as well at the helm there. So you know, why not give him a big clap too? All right, team. So there's loads and loads of stuff there to work on. Get your list out, get your pen out, get your notepad out, your Word document, whatever it is, and start ticking those things off. I've just covered so much more than I thought in this Hangout, which is fantastic. And take it away, implement it, and go and build that carrot bars business, because it's a business worth building. All right. Until next time, have an awesome week, and we'll see you in the next Hangout.